Trustees regular meeting for Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. Would you all please rise and pay respects to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Noting of the roll.
Noted, there is a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Charles. Any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Hearing none. We'll move on to item 5, approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Are there any questions? Hearing none. Roll call.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Item number 6, public comment on items not on the agenda. We open this up to the public right now for 3 minutes of speaking on items that are not on the agenda. Hello.
Hello. Hi, my name is Gail Grix. I'm here to bring awareness to this board and the community of a situation that should alarm property owners and deserves to have more eyes on it. Some years ago, as part of the rerouting of Lakeville Road, Oxford Township and the Village of Oxford created a new municipal boundary line which completely bisected an existing property with a house and detached garage. They created 2 new lots out of the original one, leaving the house and garage straddling the newly created municipal boundary line and existing now in 2 jurisdictions. I own this property, and I am being prevented from obtaining any authorizations to maintain or improve the structures on it. I am being deprived of basic property rights and due process. I cannot use my property, I cannot improve my property, and I have spent thousands of dollars attempting to resolve this situation. Oxford Township and the village claim they lack jurisdiction to issue building permits due to the structures straddling the boundary and lot lines that they created. However, Oxford Township feels they do have the jurisdiction to issue a nuisance ticket for the condition of the structures, which I am legally not allowed to take any action to rectify, and have been warned that if I attempt to do so without a permit, I will be stopped. Something is terribly wrong here. Issuance of a ticket without recourse is the first step by Oxford Township to attempt an unjust taking of property. Forcing me to tear down my house creates a non-conforming, worthless lot in the township. It also obscures the wrong the township did by creating this situation that I am powerless to resolve. Imagine the ramifications and the legal precedents this sets. On May 11th, last year, the township and the village finally agreed that if I sought dimensional variances from both municipalities, I could repair or possibly build new homes on the property. I sought and received a dimensional variance from the Village of Oxford. Oxford Township then reneged on the deal. Please, I encourage you to read the opinion report from McKenna Incorporated, the planning consultant hired by the village. I have copies here. I stand here, ready, willing, able, and eager to restore my property at 501 Lakeville Road. I would like to express my empathy to the Oxford community who may be thinking that I'm a bad property owner. I want to state for the public record that the condition of the property is not a choice. It is a condition put upon me that I cannot resolve without jurisdiction.
Gail, your 3 minutes is up. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Why is Oxford Township spending so
Is there
much
anybody
time and
else in the
resources
community
on
that'd
what?
like to have public comment?
Why? Why are you spending so much time and
Seeing none,
resources
we'll move on to item
not
number
preventing
7.
me from
Gail, you're out of
enjoying
order. Please sit down. Thank you.
I think it's
Anybody else in the public like to speak? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 7, Board of Trustee comments. We'll start with Trustee Charles.
If it's all right, and if anyone's interested.
Gail, please sit down. You're out of
These are the
order.
McKinnon
Thank you.
reports, and I would encourage you to read them.
Trustee Charles?
A couple things. One, kind of a sad note, for those people that know or knew Glenn Pape, our previous executive director for the Oxford Downtown Development Authority. Glenn passed away last week of a heart attack. So just to let everyone know that publicly, for those who aren't familiar or were not familiar with that. Less important than that, of course, would be just to let people know we are working on the website. We'll have a report and recommendations for the next board meeting. We've been working on that, and we appreciate the feedback from everybody at the township, and we've read through the recommendations, and we'll act accordingly. But that's coming up next board meeting. One other thing, just to remind folks, and well, I'll let Catherine talk about the conscience in the park, but I will say it in reference to Oxford Addison Youth Assistance. We will have booths at the farmers market and at the concerts in the park Thursday nights. So that's it.
Thank you. Clerk Wright?
Just that we are getting ramped up to begin for the August election, so it's going to be getting very busy in the clerk's department. So we're just waiting for the ballots to come in.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Supervisor, I believe what was just brought up, I think that's ongoing litigation, correct?
Yes, it is.
So we probably shouldn't comment on that regardless.
Correct.
Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you. Trustee Nold?
No comment, thank you.
Trustee Payne?
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Colvin?
Just since Trustee Charles mentioned it, concerts in the park starting up on Thursdays. On Tuesdays, there's line dancing lessons in Washington Square. If anybody wants to learn some line dancing, I was not there the other day, but it looked like people had a lot of fun. So enjoy your downtown.
Thank you. I have no comments at this time. Item number 8, resolution and recognition of Bob Gerds. Call Tim London up. What we're going to do is pass a resolution for Bob Gerds, who worked as an HVAC inspector for 33 years in Oxford Township, performing over 11,600 inspections. Bob is since retired. Go ahead, Tim. Thank you.
So whereas Bob Gerds faithfully served Charter Township of Oxford as a plumbing and HVAC inspector from 1991 to 2024, and whereas Mr. Gerds was widely respected as a consummate professional, his consummate professionalism, considerable expertise, and friendly manner, and whereas Mr. Gerds' tremendous knowledge and meticulous attention and detail helped to protect the public health and safety in ensuring township homes and buildings were up to code. And whereas Mr. Gerds' work was critical to guaranteeing that plumbing and HVAC systems were installed correctly and operated efficiently, and whereas Mr. Gerds performed thousands of inspections that enhanced the quality for everyone who lives, works, plays in the township between 2001 2024. He conducted 11,611 inspections. And whereas Mr. Gerds always acted with integrity, never shirked at his duties, treated everyone with dignity, and was valued and dedicated member of the township team. Now therefore be it resolved, the Charter Township of Oxford Board of Trustees wish to express its heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to the Inspector Gerds for everything he did to make our community a better place. Charter Township of Oxford salutes Inspector Gerds and sincerely hopes he enjoys his well-deserved retirement. He will be sorely missed. We wish him nothing but the best. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you. Bob, if you come on up, we'll take a short recess, get a picture of you and your wife and Tim, and thank you for your service.
Okay, let's make the motion. I'll make a motion to approve the resolution honoring Rob Gertz as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. Any questions? Hearing none. Roll call.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Trustee Charles.
Yes.
Trustee Noel. Yes. Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. Thank you, Bob. We could take about a 5-minute recess, please.
6:40.
What time is it?
6:40.
6:41.
6:41.
6:41.
He wants to get home. He's got a long drive.
Not as long as you.
That's what I want. Pretty funny.
So everyone has a copy? Yes.
It's quick. It's funny. My kind of humor.
I was gonna go home and get what I was gonna give you, but
The white shirt.
I tell you what, I came home and I was so tired. I said to Karen, I gotta lay down. And then my phone.
I need to be in the back of these pictures.
So I ran over here.
did you?
Jack, give me this picture. Want to go this way? Be that way.
You do?
Come on in.
Call it BC.
How are you, Patrick? Hey, I saw Margie doing burnouts in that car out here. Yeah. Hey, from Raleigh, North Carolina. That's pretty tough. Pat, Margie, I just said I saw you out there pulling burnouts in the car.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Jack, I talked to the guys at Buff and Detailing today, your buddies. I like those guys. They're
They're
cool. I
a
like
real
them
nice
because
guy.
they like
Nice,
what they
Pat,
do.
is that your car?
Chris is so happy to be doing
What's his
that.
partner's name? I can't remember.
He was probably walking when I
Aaron.
drove it.
Aaron, I couldn't remember.
No.
I
We
should
came
have parked
separately so he
should have
can
parked
leave.
about this far away from the
Play
passenger.
borrowing his car and all that.
You know what? He's so easygoing that wouldn't have
Do
mattered.
that.
Yeah,
and
well,
all of
That's a
sudden,
nice
I guess
vehicle.
paid
Yeah.
for my
I
wife's
think I bet flies on the open road.
Oh, the Mustang?
Yeah.
Makes a
Oh,
lot
I'd
of
have
noise
that
and it's
done.
not a comfortable
going to.
ride.
Go out there
Yeah.
and pull the
Burns
water
a lot
out
of
of the hood.
fuel.
No,
takes the
back in
dirt cleaning right
1964, they didn't have
But
good
we were there
shock
today.
system.
Open suspensions.
No, not at all.
But you always like people who are
Your
out of the
suspension
work
was
and
what you were
excited.
Excited. We have 1 minute.
And you feel every rock,
Yeah, they
every
were both,
stone in the road on your
I
derriere.
totally agree.
Thank you.
There's a buddy of my brother's over there. He's got about a $255,000 1953 pickup. It's been redone.
Wow.
It is gorgeous.
Bend over backwards.
Wins all the
Email I sent
prizes.
you about
My
the
brother
school
worked
board.
on it.
Yeah.
He's got an engine like you wouldn't
That's what I
believe.
told them. I said, some vacation.
Now
It
it's
is.
yours, right?
No,
I was
that's
gonna
not
say
mine.
that.
It's his.
Oh.
But that thing
Here.
is beautiful. It rides so bad. And it goes like this all the time. You just get
It's
tired
two
of it.
lots.
Yeah, you really do. We took it up.
They want to
north
make
one
it
time.
3 lots.
We both said,
Well, we
yeah,
told
it's
them
not
to do
a
around
distance,
town,
yeah,
that's
that's
not
not a distance
Unsafe,
vehicle
tear it
at
down.
all.
We'll go to the
Secondly,
local car show.
you can make
And that's
3
about
lots
it.
out of it, but you gotta change. It's the lot in the village, the township is industrial. You can't build a house in industrial.
Gotta do rezone.
Did she come to the meeting?
They don't have a DOT in the park downtown. And
No,
That's what I hear. And I don't mean
Be
to
at the
be
planning
offensive.
commission, did you say? A public.
I don't think she will be.
Okay.
Like to get the meeting back to order, please. Thank you, Mr. Gerds, and thank you, Mrs. Gerds.
Yeah.
Okay, item 9, purpose.
I'll make a motion to meet an open session, entertain a motion, take a roll call vote, 2/3 majority needed, regarding calling a closed session for the following purpose. Discussion of written legal opinion regarding the following. 1, potential litigation pursuant to MCL 50.268H, subsection H, and MCL 50.243, subsection G, and potential purchase of property pursuant to MCL 50.268 subsection 1, subsection D, and MCL 50.268, subsection 1, subsection 8, include the Township Board, Attorney Ellis, Recording Secretary Smith and McCullough. Do we need any other folks?
No.
That's my motion.
I'll second.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Roll call. I have a motion, wait, I have a motion by Treasurer Fry and a second by Trustee Noel. Thank you. Sorry. A roll call, please.
Trustee Colvin.
Yes.
Trustee Payne.
Yes.
Trustee Noel.
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari.
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles.
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis.
Yes. So I would ask everybody that we'll call you back in after the closed session.
Tim's gotta go too, 'cause he wasn't.
Yeah, Tim's gotta go too. Get out of here.
Make item 12A, move everything else down, will be consideration for the rescission, the authorization for litigation pertaining to the library board candidates.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. Roll call?
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 10, Fire Department. Nothing to say, Chief? Okay. Sharp Engineering Report. In your, board members, in your packet was a Sharp Engineering Report outlining all the projects going on in the township. I'm pretty knowledgeable of all of them. If you have a concern, we gave Engineer Sharp the night off. So if you have any questions, please ask them. I'll try to address them. Hearing none. Item 12, A, the litigation.
Make a motion to rescind the prior motion authorizing litigation against the county with regard to striking of the library board candidates from the ballot and authorize the township attorney draft a letter to the county setting forth the township's concerns with the handling of election issues.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Nold. Questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 12B, single hauler recommendation. Trustee Nold.
Good evening, Board. We went out under your permission to get a single waste hauler RFPs in. The three responses were GFL, Environmental, Priority Waste, and Waste Management. And we're here tonight for two separate authorizations from the board. One is to approve Priority Waste as a designated hauler. So the first motion I'd like to make tonight, I move to authorize a single hauler subcommittee to draft proposed ballot language for a placement on the general election ballot for consideration by the Board of Trustees on July 10th, 2024 agenda, which shall allow voters to determine whether to have a single waste hauler service for all of Oxford.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Nold and a second by Trustee Payne. Questions? Treasurer Ferrari.
It's assuming this does not impact the village, correct?
Correct.
The village is not involved with
Just to
this,
make sure
correct?
it's- When you say all of Oxford, that's us saying the.
All of Oxford Township.
Okay.
The village is within the, I understand.
Vote it down.
We do?
You got to vote it down.
Why?
Motion was made and seconded, correct?
It said all of Oxford instead of Oxford Township.
Yeah, she should vote it down.
We have
Okay.
to vote it down.
Gotta vote it down. Roll call?
Trustee Colvin?
No.
Trustee Noel?
No.
Trustee Payne?
No.
Treasurer Ferrari?
No.
Clerk Wright, no. Trustee Charles?
No.
Supervisor Curtis?
No. All right, try that motion again.
I'm working here. I move to authorize the single waste hauler subcommittee to draft a proposed ballot language for placement on the general election ballot for consideration by the Board of Trustees on July 10th, 2024 agenda, which would allow voters to determine whether to have a single waste hauler service for all of Oxford Township, excluding the village,
Should I make that shall, not would? You said would allow, shall allow.
which shall allow voters to determine whether to have a single waste hauler service for all of Oxford Township, excluding the village of Oxford.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Nold, a second by Trustee Payne. I'll entertain questions. Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes.
The board, I have a second motion to bring forward tonight. I move to accept the response to request for proposal submitted by Priority Waste to be Oxford Township's single hauler, conditioned upon the majority of the township voters voting in favor of having a single waste hauler for all of Oxford Township, excluding the village of Oxford.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Nold and a second by trustee Payne. Treasurer Ferrari.
I heard there's somebody from Priority here. Can we ask him some questions?
If you'd like to come up to the mic, like to ask some questions, ask them to me and he'll answer them.
With Priority now taking over the GFL accounts, will they be able to service us if the voters approve?
Good evening, Dan Benet with Priority Waste. Pleasure to be in front of you all tonight. I want to ask, make sure I understand that correctly. Are you talking prior to the single waste hauler contract, or are you talking?
No, you've just acquired GFL. Would you still be able to service Oxford Township with all those other new customers?
Yes, so part of the acquisition that we have in place with GFL is the assets and employees, as well as the subscription work in Oxford Township. So the, starting it's a target date closing of July 1 that we would take over. That date, I'm not saying that's set in stone because the paperwork has to be finalized, but the target date for that to be is July 1. The services that we're providing in the township would just be a growth with the GFO work that's currently in hand.
Trustee Nold.
Just a clarification, that's July 1 of 2025. Correct?
No, he's talking about their purchase.
No, he's talking about the
I know,
GFL
mine
purchase.
went there
Yeah,
too.
it would be July 1.
Understand, sorry,
Right.
sorry, Mr. Supervisor.
So the target date, like I said, it could shift if it happens. But.
Okay, any other questions? Trustee Charles?
So asking the board, the committee here, this bidding process was open to everybody, is that correct?
That's correct. It was across the board, everybody was allowed to bid.
Everybody was?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Did you also do with that process? Was there anything stated that we'd go with the low bidder no matter what?
No, we said that low bid would not be the only consideration.
Okay, and in response to your committee note, this is also the procurement policy states you don't have to go with the low bidder.
That's correct.
Okay, this RFP was sent out for pricing to show the elector
Service.
what you're gonna get for the price, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But we had a lot of other criteria, and customer service was a very big part of it. And willingness to work with the townships, within the townships RFP was a very big part of it.
Okay. Treasurer Ferrari?
I know there's a lot of devil in the details, like HOAs that have their own companies. They'll just transition then over to Priority?
That's correct.
They probably continue with their current contract. Once that expires, they transition over.
That's correct.
This is all contingent on voters saying yes.
Yes.
If the voters say yes, they need to be aware of, no matter what happened. Go ahead, Trustee Charles.
Is there a plan in place to communicate this to the community?
Yes.
Yeah, about the reasons why the committee is going through this process?
Yes.
The plan in place to do that?
Okay. And you all know what happened when GFL told their employees that they were going to sell their assets for residential garbage to Priority.
No, I don't know what happened.
I can tell you what happened. Nobody got their garbage picked up in Oxford
Oh, I heard about
for
that.
2 to 3 weeks because GFL had single haulers in Rochester Hills, single hauler in Orion, and single hauler for 700,000 people that they had to meet contractually in order to not face fines. I got a call from Todd Stamper, you know him. I got a call from Brian Davis and Paul, I always screw this up, Tadonio, from other waste haulers saying, we can help. Curtis fielded hundreds of calls. I fielded hundreds of calls where GFL walked away from the community and no one picked up our garbage.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks in Orion. We are just getting our 3rd week picked up in Oxford.
Rochester Hills is having the same problem.
Yes. So, whether you have a single hauler or you have an independent, if you're not making money or you want to retire or somebody comes with a lucrative buyout, you sell.
Right.
It's a business. It's a business, no matter what your contract is. It's a very lucrative business if you do it right. If you're not making money as an independent, you go out for an IPO. All of a sudden, you get massive amounts of money, and you can still go out of business. GFL had 700,000 residential customers that they're walking away from selling their company. Just as an independent who gets in age where they feel their retirement is ready, they can sell their 2,500 residential pickups. We found out the hard way that each individual had a contract with GFL. Priority couldn't come and pick my waste up unless I called them and filled in a contract with them. Community couldn't come and pick up somebody's garbage unless they canceled and filled in a contract with them. So allowing the electorate to choose whether or not there's a single hauler, in my opinion, is smart. But to your point, Margie, choosing the lowest bidder is not always the smartest.
Right.
Treasurer Ferrari.
I agree with that completely, because how many times in this community we had roads in bad condition? So we drove on them for years and years until the residents came to us and said, Township, we want to get this paved. We want to pay for it. Then we stepped in. Weed control, all those type of things. It is dictated by our community. If 51% of the voters in November say, you guys are going to be in the garbage business, we're in the garbage business. Yeah, then again, if 51% say no, we want individual choice. We're done.
I pay $115 for my garbage to get picked up. I'm going to pay $115 to Priority because they're going to assume the GFL residential contract. They're not going to come in at the single hauler rate. They're not going to come in at the rate they're charging my neighbor. They're going to assume the $115. If somebody said to me, I'll pick your garbage up for $80, yeah, pick it up.
Right.
I'm saving money.
No way, okay.
$35 a quarter. So this is a dirty business when it comes to us trying to serve our residents. Yes, Trustee Payne.
And I foresee changes ongoing. It's always been an ongoing situation with trash haulers, waste haulers. It'll always be a situation. This board will always be dealing with it. But by allowing one waste hauler in this community, that will solve a lot of the grief. So that if one goes out of business and leaves to everybody high and dry, then we can get someone in there. Like, you can make the change in contract very quickly, hopefully. The other thing, you talked about not taking the lowest bid. It just so happens that we did.
Yeah.
We are recommending the lowest bidder.
And I honestly don't know what that real bid is.
Okay.
I do not know.
Well,
But what I did was talk to many independents that make some money and affordable living. You got to be at about $25 per household residential in a community of 22,000.
really?
Yep. Your drivers today can go to Amazon and make $21 an hour and drive a pickup truck, a Corvair, whatever, a Corvette. And they can drop a package off at your house and make $21 an hour.
Yep.
What do they pay your drivers?
28.
Depends on the style of vehicle and their experience, but most of our drivers are in the 25 plus range or more.
Yep. So I don't have to drive an 8,000 series garbage truck through a residential area. I can make $21 an hour. So a lot of things to be thinking about here that just got on my mind because I'm paying $115. I'm not going for price because for 4 years I never had to make one call. I paid a premium, never one call, until GFL sent a letter to their employees saying they were sold. Everybody else is laughing. Ha ha. You guys got GFL, we got Community, we got Priority, I got Addison Disposal. They all come down my street. 4 of them. So that's my 2 cents. Anybody else? Clerk Wright.
Yeah, to go through the history of this, this committee's put in a lot of time to get to this point where we're at. We actually had to back up from last year, and there's been a lot of energy that we put in. We did a thorough review of the proposals we received, and we sat down with Mr. Vinay and his group. We sat down with GFL and their group. We did not sit down with Waste Management for the reasons of too many demands on trying to actually come to an agreement, in our opinion. So we're trying to put the best opportunity for the voters in front of them to say, do you want a single hauler or do you not want a single hauler? And this vote that the board's going to take is going to tell us whether or not that's going to happen.
Can we, go ahead, Treasurer
The thing I
Ferrari.
like about this one is back in 1992, this was on the ballot before, but it was an advisory vote. That's what angered our residents, because they could have said yes, the board still could have said, no, we're not doing it.
Right.
Or they could have said no, and the board could have said, hey, we're doing it anyway.
All right.
So this
This is
election,
different because it binds us.
We also have a different culture in Oxford than we did in 1992.
Not different.
yeah. So I'm willing to pay $115 a quarter for my garbage because I want it gone. I don't want anybody picking on me. What am I going to save by going to a single hauler? That's kind of the things that we need to tell the residents.
It will be in the ballot language. The price will be in the ballot language.
Okay?
Okay, and we have a 5-year price schedule.
That's,
Clerk Wright.
that is right now on the table. That's our proposal. But we probably need to finalize that
Yeah.
committee-wise and with the
Wrestle with that.
attorney before we move forward with that. But that's the goal right now.
Yep.
So right now, we have a vote that approves the language to go on the millage. And we've taken that vote, correct?
We have a motion on the floor. We have not voted.
Okay, thank you.
You voted on the language.
We voted on the language. We did not vote on choosing
Priority.
priority.
Correct.
What is this board's,
So there's a motion in a
There's a
second.
motion in a second.
Yeah.
okay, roll call.
Trustee Noel? Yes. Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Clerk Wright? Yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 12C, American Rescue Plan, ARPA funding recommendation. Clerk Wright.
We reconvened as the ARPA committee because of the kindness of Mr. Frank Biardi's kindness of donating $10,000 toward the Railroad Safety Path project. It freed up another $10,000 of ARPA funds to be reallocated, and the ARPA committee is recommending to put those monies toward the cemetery repairs that are going on currently as we speak. So with that, I'll move to approve the reallocation of the American Rescue Plan Act Railroad Safety Path project funds in the amount of $10,000 to the Cemetery Maintenance Fund, and to approve the reallocation of any remaining American Rescue Plan Act legal fees to the Cemetery Maintenance Fund.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Clerk Wright. I have a second by Trustee Charles. Any questions? Yes, Clerk Wright.
Just a comment, I didn't bring that up, but we have some excess legal fees as well, and that's why it's in this motion. So if they don't get expended on the projects, we'll have those already allocated so we meet the deadline for the 2024 allocation.
Thank you. Roll call.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Noel?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 12C, 2024 graveling of additional Oxford Township's road. Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members, I work with Supervisor Curtis. He'd had a couple residents call that wanted additional gravel roads, graveling on the roads, in addition to the ones we'd already approved. The county's going to try their best to get these done this year, but if not, it'll be the first thing on the docket in 2025. I make a motion the Oxford Township Board of Trustees formally approves the 2024 additional gravel road program of Gardner Road and Delana Road, as outlined by RCOC's Colin Campbell, in a total amount of $85,689.24. If this work cannot be done in 2024, then these gravel roads are to be addressed in 2025. These funds are to be expensed to the Roads Fund, account number 204-440-969-000.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. Any questions?
Yeah. Do you have the money in the road fund?
It's gonna be, right now, no, but it's gonna be reallocated, 'cause we're gonna do budget amendments come July.
Okay.
We've got it earmarked.
So it's gonna go from the general fund to the
Correct.
roads? Okay.
Correct.
That's what I wanted to know.
That is correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Nold?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 13A, new business, MI Switch Business Phone System. Board members, in front of you tonight is the new contract from MI Switch. Our current phone provider is up for renewal. Attached proposed contract renewing our agreement for another 3 years. MI Switch is a local company and we have not had any complaints in terms of service or customer support. This contract price is also discounted almost $200 per month from 2024.
I move to approve the renewal agreement between MI Switch Communications and the Charter Township of Oxford for a duration of 3 years, in the amount of $668.44 per month. This amount is to be expensed to account number 101-265-853.000 telephone. I further authorize Supervisor Jack Curtis to sign the agreement on behalf of the Charter Township of Oxford.
Second?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari. I have a second by Trustee Nold. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Nold?
Yes.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 13B, set first reading for soil erosion ordinance 129.001. If we have any questions, we have a building official, Tim London, here tonight, who is our soil erosion expert and certified all kinds of things on water and soil erosion.
I move to set a first reading of the soil erosion and sediment control ordinance 129.001, the July 10th, 2024, Oxford Township Board of Trustees regular meeting.
Second?
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Nold. Are there any questions? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Trustee Nold?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 13C, Meals on Wheels contract, Treasurer Ferrari.
Board members, we've been working with Love Inc., who has agreed to take on Meals on Wheels for us, as the Rochester OPC is not going to be performing that service anymore. They'll be still be doing the meals part, but not the distribution. We're waiting on them to get the final insurance. We're almost there. We have a contract ready to go, and once they give us the final insurance coverage, Supervisor Curtis will sign that, and the Director of Love Inc. will sign that. I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between Love Inc. of North Oakland County and Charter Township of Oxford for the purpose of providing Meals on Wheels services to Oxford Township residents, conditioned upon Love Inc. providing evidence of adequate insurance coverage as required under the MOU, and authorize the Township Supervisor to execute the same. These funds are to be expensed to 101-995-965.865.
Not to exceed,
It's in the contract, it says 15,000.
thank you. That's part of the motion.
It says to approve the contract, let me see. Yes, because this approves this contract too, right, Brittany? Okay, this approves this.
Correct.
Okay.
I have a second. I'll second it. Motion by Treasurer Ferrari, seconded by Supervisor Curtis. Any questions? Joe, thanks for all your work on this.
You're welcome.
We an employee came to us and said they were being fired. And then Rochester OPC came to us and said, we are no longer going to deliver your food to the Meals on Wheels program. You can have the food, but we have nobody deliver it. Joe stepped in, got with Love Inc., and worked this contract out to provide that service to the residents requiring Meals on Wheels. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, roll call.
Treasurer Ferrari?
Yes.
Clerk Wright, yes. Trustee Charles?
Yes.
Trustee Colvin?
Yes.
Trustee Payne?
Yes.
Trustee Nold?
Yes.
And Supervisor Curtis?
Yes. Item 14, nothing was removed. Item 15, general comments from the public. Any comments you'd like to make, please step up to the mic and, oh, we got 3 people, okay. Item number 1.
I'm Paul Tedonio, president of Community Disposal. I was glad to hear your comments earlier. I thank the board I like the way you did it with putting it out for a vote of the people. Because I plan to use the intervening time to try and dazzle my customers and get as many more as I can. And in the last few weeks with GFL falling down, we've already picked up several hundred. I picked up actually about 1,600, but not all of them in Oxford. So wasn't a bad week for me. That being said, I am pushing my boundaries. I was trying to keep my routes pretty tight in one part of town. We moved across 24 a few months ago, and now other than the stuff that's just the dead ends of roads that are in Lake Orion, I'm open for taking on customers. And our rates are $20 for garbage, $7 for recycling. And we do yard waste for 50 cents a bag. So, and that's what we'll be selling at if anybody called us in the new areas. And if they approach us with subdivision, we may get better deals than that. If they have an HOA or something like that. I do have probably over 20, probably 25 HOAs in Oxford Township right now that all have probably better deals than that. But we will be here. We're going to be trying to impress and hoping that the people vote to keep us. Some people will pay more for what they perceive to be good service, and we're here to provide good service. So, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Young lady in the back.
My name is Michelle Culver, and I just had some questions about the waste hauler proposed language. I know you mentioned that it would be made clear to residents that what pricing Priority would be offering as part of the ballot language. Is that my understanding? Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
You're not at liberty to share that today with this group?
I don't know.
We can't,
Clerk, right?
we could take those into consideration and answer during board comments.
Okay.
Oh, we're not allowed to answer.
That's right.
Okay. And as part of the committee research, were there any community focus groups held like we've talked about at previous meetings?
Was there,
Any community focus groups held like we've talked about at previous meetings?
I'll ask, we'll address that. Anything else?
What was the answer?
He can't answer
He
now,
can't answer that?
but he may later.
Okay. Okay. And then relative to the next steps on this then, is it correct to say that in July, there will be ballot language proposed at a meeting like this, that this board will vote on without public comment?
Okay.
Without any further public discussion between now and then, I guess.
Correct. Correct. I got the question.
Okay. And I guess that's it for now, but the last question is really about the validity of the process as it relates to the fact that GFL was going out of business at the same time Priority was taking over, or is purchasing their business. And you've brought one hauler to the table here because obviously we can't have GFL today. And Waste Manager was out of the picture for some reason. So it just seems a little bit of a strange time to put forth this sort of thing with Priority being in flux with this takeover of GFL. So I guess I just wanted to state that for the record. It's very strange timing to put something like this forth, not knowing how Priority is going to be.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Dave Bacus. I'm with Lakeside Indian Subdivision on the Board of Directors, and I just wanted a clarifying question. I have no issue with the recommendations you made or anything, except as I report back to some of our residents, they've had a keen interest in the single waste hauler. Just wanted to confirm, did community receive an RFP?
We did.
You did, okay. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Any other members of the community want to speak, make comment?
Can I say something else?
I'll give you a do-over. Paul, you didn't use all your 3 minutes.
Okay. Just the woman brought up, GFL is not going out of business. They're just getting rid of underperforming work. They've got a whole lot of very poorly priced municipal work that a company called Rizzo got years ago. Most of it was old Rizzo work. And he was going to try and go public, and he ended up selling it to GFL. And well, they were trying to go public, and nobody just wanted to dazzle investors with throwing big numbers, and nobody saw the profit. Now GFL is a public corporation. People see their numbers, and they suck. And that's why they're getting rid of some really crap work. I don't know if they're paying them for it, or if they're paying to take it. It's that bad, in my eyes. I've been in the business 45 years. I think I know. But anyways, and they're getting a bunch of equipment that's, they've always had new equipment. They're going to have their hands full trying to maintain a bunch of old crap.
Thanks, Paul.
But anyways, thank you.
Appreciate your comment. Any other public comment? Seeing none, Board of Trustees comments. Trustee Colvin.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Payne.
Nothing.
Trustee Nold.
I have a question for the board, a question for the supervisor. There's been some questions brought up during public comment.
I'm going to ask during my comment to have a member of the single hauler answer those questions, so
Okay. Thank
I
you
wrote
for the,
them down.
thank you for the comment.
Okay.
Pass.
Treasurer Ferrari?
I think because where I'm at Hometown Village, we have community, and to me, garbage is garbage. They've done a fine job, but I just wish they would have chosen to bid on it. And I understand it's a business decision, I get it, but I wish I would have had that option as a member of here to at least consider it. Like, Paul, I can't even say no to you. Because it's like going to a football game with no gear on. You can't go on the field. You don't have any gear on. If you at least did a proposal, I could have said to my committee, okay, guys, what was wrong with community's bid? I can't do that. Nothing was submitted.
Any other comments?
That's all I have.
Okay. Clerk Wright
No comments at this time.
and Trustee Charles.
Nope.
Okay, for the board, or for the members of the single hauler community, we had a question of rates in the ballot. Will the rate be in the ballot? Would a member elect to answer that question? Clerk Wright? Trustee
answer.
Nold?
Not only will the rates be in the ballot for the current year, but the projected 5-year program will be in the ballot. So the voter will have monthly cost for the first year, monthly cost second year, monthly cost third, fourth, and fifth year.
Okay. Committee members, number 2, the second question asked of this committee, community in the process. I wrote that down pretty quickly. Was community involved? Was the community outside people in our community involved in this process? Yes, Clerk Wright.
Yeah, the meetings that we had were posted meetings, committee meetings, so anybody was welcome to attend that. Technically, a committee does not have to post agendas for a meeting, so we followed the rules as if it was a board meeting. We called the meeting to order, we took minutes, we recorded minutes, who was present, and any recommendations or anything like that, like what you saw tonight was proposed to the Township Board in a meeting open to the public. Also,
Okay.
backing up to the rates itself, as a committee member, we are stating that those are going to be in the ballot language, but I would caution this board and the public that we still have to go through the ballot language with the attorney council to make sure that that's the decision that we want to do as a board.
Okay, number 3, the July language is final. At the July meeting, we'll be voting on the final language for the ballot.
That's the goal. Yes, and if that is a goal, it has to be, as we stated earlier in the meeting, the proposal has to be down at the county at the end of July with the language to the county on August 13th.
Okay, number 4, the validity of the process. You know, I'm not going to check anybody's validity or integrity on that committee. There's no one here that he had even a lunch bought by one of the haulers that bid on this committee message. Not 1 ounce of impropriety was done while this committee did work. And I'll stand in front of any one of these committee members and tell them all that they did this with integrity and sharpness and no malice whatsoever. Number 5, one choice. The one choice. The question is, will there be one choice? I think the single hauler calls it out as you will be a single hauler in the community. There will not be one here, one here, one here. It will be a single hauler. Hopefully that answered all your questions. Item number 16. Number 17. Adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Treasurer Ferrari, a second by Trustee Payne. Any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Thank you.
Trustee Charles?
I'm writing an email right now to Colin Campbell
Put
about additional roles approved by the
26,
Township Board this evening.
3:30 on
Please plan to perform this work in
for
2024.
election commission.